Hello guys, it's Russell here, aka it's NBA, I guess. And we're back with another video reaction. Well, actually I never did a video reaction. That was actually on my other channel. So, whatever. We're gonna watch the NBA's worst fears came true by Heat Check. And maybe we'll watch Chris move, I don't know. Maybe a double upload. Don't know. But let's get right into it.
While we certainly hope for the best, following this gruesome-looking injury that Giannis suffered, the worst fears are that Antetokounmpo might be the latest on the long list of injured superstars that either couldn't even suit up for the playoffs or played far below their capacity. And going through the entire list, you'll understand just how cursed this postseason has been. What up everybody, my name is Stefan and this is Heat Check. Let's get into it. It all started back in April, 18 games before the playoffs even began. Jamal Murray drives against the Golden State defense, but as he tries to take off for the layup, the immediate reaction and subsequent tumble to the ground. A non-contact injury.
My thing is, it's 104-101, or 111 I should say. The playoffs is near. I know they're trying to get top 8, but I think Denver Nuggets are already like 3. So, don't play Jamal Murray. Just suffer the loss. Just bounce back. I mean, yeah, you can play him, but he shouldn't be just driving in the paint like that. Because, actually, he shouldn't really be doing any running activities so he can mess up his leg. And yep, he messed up his leg because he was doing running activities, so it is what it is.
Which we later found out was a torn ACL. This would end the season for him and the Nuggets in a way, as they realized that their championship hopes are gone. Although Denver was able to actually win a series against the Blazers through great unselfish play.
Yeah, I don't know how they won that series. I thought Blazers was gonna beat them like 3-2 or 3-3, but yeah, Denver really bounced back from that injury. But obviously we know they lost next round against the Suns because the Suns are not the Blazers. They're actually a way better team.
Which is of course a signature style for this team. The Phoenix Suns were too much for them in the second round, resulting in a 4-0 sweep.
4-0.
Meanwhile, during that same time frame in April, the Boston Celtics were looking into every possible option and scenario to handle the wrist injury of their star player.
I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of forgot about that torn ligament in Jalen's wrist. I really forgot about that. Cause during the series versus the Nets, I'm like, where's Jaylen Brown now? I'm like, then I just remembered. Oh, he had an injury.
Jaylen Brown. He actually appeared in some games and tried to see how he would feel, but eventually it became apparent that the torn ligament in the wrist needed surgery and Brown was shut down just days before the playoffs. There was one player who actually played great in the postseason, despite missing the first game and still feeling the after effects of an injury from earlier in the season, and that is Donovan Mitchell. After previously spraining his ankle, Mitchell missed 18 games, which included Game 1 against the Grizzlies. He then exploded in the playoffs and even brought the Jazz up 2-0 against the Clippers. But in Game 3, he re-aggravated that same injury, and although he continued to put up big numbers,
I had a feeling like if he never got injured, they would have won that like 3-1 or 3-2. I just had a feeling that he was gonna win that if Donovan didn't get hurt.
Efficiency was way down, and you could see him being limited with his movement on the court and the overall play. Utah would ultimately lose that series following 4 straight losses from that moment. Another reason for the loss, however, was the fact that the Jazz were missing another big-time player in Mike Conley for the majority of the second-round series. Conley injured his hamstring against Memphis and would sit out all the way until Game 6 of the second round, which turned out to be the last one.
Yeah, I also forgot about Conley's injury. So they were without their best two point guards. So when you're without your captain, manager, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna be a tough series.
Of the season for him and his team. And let's remind ourselves of one star-studded yet injury-riddled matchup in the playoffs. In Game 1 of the Suns vs Lakers showdown, we saw Chris Paul go down in pain with a shoulder injury early in the game. He wouldn't be the same for the rest of the series, but fortunately, younger guys like Cameron Payne stepped up and filled in the playmaking role.
Yeah, I only remember Cameron Payne from the Thunder, but his dances was with Russell Westbrook, who is actually my favorite player. I know you guys shut up. Shush. Anyways, I've heard a story, and it's pretty inspirational. Just like Curry, man, so inspirational.
Of course, all credit has to be given to Phoenix for the way they've played throughout these playoffs. However, we have to mention the struggles for the Lakers since that's the topic of this video. LeBron James did not look 100%.
Whoa, look at the flop. Oh, baby, let me flop again.
In that entire series as he was dealing with an ankle injury, missing 26 of the last 30 games of the regular season.
Okay, that wasn't a flop. Whatever.
And you could see that at times James was lacking the acceleration and the lift that we're used to seeing. Ankle injury, missing. To mention the struggles for the Lakers since that's the topic of this video.
Yeah,
LeBron James did not look 100%. Was lacking the acceleration and the lift that we're used to seeing with him. Also, in Game 4, the other piece of that 1-2 punch went down with a groin injury. Anthony Davis missed the entire Game 5 and tried to give it.
Bro, this Anthony Davis has been injured since 2012, and it's now 2021. So he had literally 9 years of injuries, non-stop injuries. I literally searched up all his injuries one time. This guy has so much injuries from 2012 to 2021. He needs a trainer that's gonna work on all his strength so he can stop getting those injuries.
To go in what would end up being a deciding 6th game of the series, but right away it was evident that he couldn't continue and essentially helped seal the fate of the Lakers. Around that same time, another big man took a nasty fall in Game 4 of the first round and missed the next game as a result. Joel Embiid has been dealing with injuries throughout his entire career, of course, and besides the Wizards matchup, he was in a lot of discomfort against Atlanta as well. Hopefully the extra time that he gets following the Game 7 loss to the Hawks will give him enough time to fully recover for next season. Yet another high-profile case was of course the Brooklyn Nets team. James Harden initially pulled a hammy back in March and recovered all the way until the last 2 games of the season. His solid performance in the first round made everyone forget about the time he was out. But as we all saw in the first
Well, let me see if I'm still recording. Okay, I'm still recording.
few seconds of Game 1 against the Bucks, Harden re-injured that same hamstring, and although gave us a few gutsy outings just by being on the floor, you could clearly see that this is far from the James Harden we know. To make matters even worse, his buddy Kyrie Irving went down as well in Game 4.
Okay, that injury I feel like it was on purpose, because Giannis was at like the corner, and he just ran all the way in for the rebound. Like, why? And then he lands right in the middle of the restricted area, so he can injure Kyrie. That was kind of on purpose to me.
After landing on Antetokounmpo and twisting his ankle, he would miss the rest of the series, and the heroics of KD weren't enough to save the Nets as they lost in that epic Game 7 in overtime.
New Budweiser Summer Patriotic Cans are here to help you celebrate 4th of July the red
time. And even in the conference finals, there are still injuries having an enormous impact on the teams. First, there was the Chris Paul COVID situation, and all that CP3 could do for the first two games was to FaceTime them post-game. Luckily for him, the Suns won both of those games, and they're still very much in play. In fact, just one win from reaching the finals. On the other hand, Kawhi Leonard has been watching the Clippers from the stands through each of the first 5 games after twisting his knee in the 4th game.
Oh yeah, in that game, Mike Green said quite like when one of the Clippers players scored, he was like Kawhi Leonard is going crazy, but he was not even moving. I was very confused and laughing.
Of the second round against the Jazz. The team, however, hopes that he could be back for the next one as his status has been updated from out to a game-time decision. And the last player to go down before Giannis was Trae Young in this freak accident tripping on the referee's leg. So he could only go down before Giannis was Trae Young in.
First of all, I know the refs, like there's 2 refs for a reason, so there's half court. Both refs go from half court to the baseline, but the refs shouldn't be right there next to on court. It should be more towards the bench area. Shouldn't be right there on the line. Because if somebody gets the pass, if Capella passed it to Trae Young, but it was a high pass, the ref would have got ran into. So it should be more back where the Hawks bench is or something like that.
This freak accident tripping on the referee's leg, so he could only watch from the sidelines as his teammates were able to get a crucial win to tie the series against Milwaukee. So as you can probably tell, some of the most high-profile and best players in the league that are vital to their teams all missed a significant portion of the playoffs. Can you imagine that if Antetokounmpo is unable to play, then Paul George will be the only one of the 15 All-NBA members to have appeared in every playoff game for his team? And that is absolutely crazy. Bill Simmons from The Ringer even went as far as saying that this would be the most unimpressive way to win a title, with all the injuries that hurt all these stars.
So, I say this without shade, I say this without any vindictiveness at all. And I don't even like the word worst, because worst insinuates that something bad has happened. It's a great thing to win the NBA title. It's not Milwaukee's fault that everybody got hurt. It's not Phoenix's fault that everybody got hurt. Somebody's got to win. So I will use the word least impressive. I don't want to dismiss it. It's just weird to play this whole season and we're going to have a champion and I'm just not going to be convinced that that was the best team.
And while injuries happen all of the time and every year in the NBA, this is certainly the worst case when we focus on who actually went down. And this is where the league could finally be starting to think about potentially tinkering with the schedule. While they did say that the number of injuries isn't significantly bigger than any other season, the fact that there is a big risk of superstars not appearing in the biggest and most important games could be enough to at least think about it and make an effort to find a solution. Of course, next season, the NBA will be back to a normal season for the first time in a while. 82 games more spread out than the 72 that have been this year. But that is still too much, as a lot of players have already come out and said it. So with teams hobbling to the finish line, players going down left and right, now all of a sudden, the main question may be which team is the most healthy and not actually which one is the best at the end. As a fan of the NBA first and foremost, I just want to see the teams at full strength competing at the highest level, and it's not really important to me anymore who actually wins the championship. I'm just fed up with all of these injuries. Anyway, a bit of a strange video to make in the middle of the conference finals. Let's hope that I don't have to make any more of these. That's it for now. Subscribe and talk to you in the next one. Peace out.
He's gonna make the shot. And he shoots. He misses.
I'm healthy. My wrist is good. I just missed it. Peace.
Yeah, you're healthy. Haha. Okay, that's gonna be the end of this video, which is called NBA's Worst Fears Came True. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Peace out.